So I guess we are good to start the session. So hi guys, hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Gulzar Ansari. Okay, so I'll be taking this session, and yes, so today we are going to discuss about external penetration testing, right? So first of all, if we talk about external penetration testing part, right? If we consider, see, if we consider cybersecurity, right? So there are two aspects of it, right? So everyone, see, this is just an introductory session for all of you, so that you can understand why an external penetration testing is performed, and what is the major goal of it. Okay. I think some one from you is unmuted. Please mute your microphone. Thank you. So, so if we talk about aspects of external penetration testing, we'll have to first know what is the actual intent to perform an external penetration testing. Okay. So if we divide cybersecurity into two parts, there is offensive and there is defensive. Okay. And if we consider the hierarchy, right, if we go by the hierarchy, offensive security also has a lot of uh, deep down parts. Uh, Rohan, can you please mute yourself? Hello, Shahid. I've rejoined the session. Please make sure if you have started the recording or not. Hello. So sorry guys for the disturbancy. Okay. So where were we? So yes. So if we talk about offensive security, there are major rules in offensive security, and all of it is divided into several parts, right? If we talk about performing a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, okay. Hello. All right. I'm constantly getting disconnected from this session. I'm not sure why. Okay. So if we talk about external penetration testing, there are a lot of aspects of it, right? So if you consider external penetration testing, it actually, it's from a perspective, it's from a POV of a real world cyber attack. Okay. A real world cyber attack on an organization's externals facing systems, right? So when you do a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing of a client, right, what they usually do is they would provide you with some information so you can perform an assessment in on their infrastructure. Okay. But if we talk about external penetration testing, then you don't have anything in handy. Okay. I'm talking about credentials and URLs and everything. Okay. But you have few information, right? And you will have to define the scope as well, that what actually you are going to test. Right. So if you talk about performing external penetration testing on an organization's external facing system. So what they would include, it includes their websites. Okay. What all web applications they have, right? What all email servers they have, what all endpoints they have, which can actually be exploited by an actual attacker, right? If we if we talk about internal penetration testing or any other penetration testing methodology, okay, in that a client would actually provide you with some information, okay, with actually majority of the information. Okay, I'll just share my screen. Allow me a minute. Okay, I guess my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so this is just a small PPT to brief you about what actually what actually external penetration testing is and what is its methodology and why it is being used, right? So the major goal of performing an external penetration testing is to access and improve the security posture of an organization. Okay, what what actual infrastructure an organization has, right? And you will be performing an external penetration testing from an attacker's point of view. So you will be actually mitigating the real time vulnerabilities what an organization is facing. Okay, so there are actually phases of it, okay, in which you perform just a second, let me check if someone is in the waiting. Okay, so there is an approach. Okay, there is an actual approach to perform this external penetration testing. Okay, so the first step is if you are performing an external penetration testing, okay, as an independent attacker or as an independent cybersecurity individual. Okay, so first you'll have to decide what actually the what's the actual scope. Okay, you'll have to ask them that what all, okay, what all technologies you would be, okay, what all technologies you would be scanning or attacking, and reporting it to the organization. Okay, so it majorly includes, so if we talk about the methodology, if they would actually have what the organization would do, they would provide you with the information. You will actually have the information of an organization, for example, a bank or an insurance company or anything. So what you would do, you would just Google it, Google their website to you know check their website, check their URL, what all APIs it consists, what all technology it's been built on. Okay, you would have different set of tools, okay, by which you can access the or cater the information, right? You'll have to identify key members and stakeholders of the organization as well. You'll have to identify servers, endpoints, and what all network devices they use. Okay, and to actually perform an external PT, right? Before attacking something, you would actually need some basic knowledge of how actually their system works. For example, if you're talking about as we considered bank as an example, there is a website of a bank. Okay, now you would actually have some understanding that how an actual web application works before you start attacking it. Okay, there are various aspects of accessing a web application, and if you're if you have resolved their DNS, and if you have found an actual IP address or their public IP address, you would need to know how your packet would be transferring over the internet, and what origin server it would actually be hitting. Okay, so there are several aspects of it. Now, when we have when we are gathering information, there are different techniques of it. Okay, your target system would also include domain names, okay, IP addresses, and if you got the IP address, you will have to scan for the open ports. Some of them are filtered as well. Okay, so you would need some basic knowledge or any intermediate level of knowledge. Okay, how how ports work, and what actual if the specific port is open, what is the actual use of that port. Okay, that's when you will be able to exploit it. So if you are into VAPT, right, before attacking a system, you would actually need some basic knowledge of how things work. Okay, and there are various techniques as well for performing penetration testing, external penetration testing. Okay, there are various types of scans and tools which you'll you need to know how to use. Okay, so there are various techniques such as active scans and passive scans. uh, I'll just give you a brief idea how active and passive scan works. Okay, so active scan is when you're actively scanning, the organization would know that uh, you're directly catering information by hitting the request to the organization's IP address or their DNS or anything, right? What passive is you are not directly interacting with the client. Okay, you're not directly interacting with the client. You are looking for the information in the from the open source over the internet. Okay, so that is the basic difference of active and passive scan. Then comes actual scanning and exploitation. Okay, and there are various commercial tools, which some of them are free and some of them require subscription or else as well. Okay, so there are few scanning tools that we use. Okay, and there are community editions of those tools as well. Every one of you might be aware of Nessus, which is a product built by Tenable. Okay, it is a really good tool. Okay, there are other open source tools as well, which you can use in your Kali Linux machine. Okay, if you're familiar with the Linux environment, okay, like Nmap, Nuclei, Nikto, OpenVARPs. and other homegrown tools, right? So so if we talk about scanning, right, if you have if you have these tools installed in your in your uh, laptop or any device which you're using, right? So what you will need is you will need some information. We are considering that you have got some information in the scanning part. Okay, you have got some IP address or anything. Now you will need to know uh, why or for what purpose this IP address is being used for. Is it an IP address of a server? Okay. Or it's resolving it's doing a DNS resolve of a URL of a web application, right? This is a scanning and exploitation part, right? We have gathered the information in the second phase itself, where we have gathered the information. Now it's about scanning and exploiting, right? So what we do, we would use the tools. As I said earlier, that we have open source tools and commercial tools as well, right? So we would be needing some information which we gathered in the phase two. Then we will use that information to put it into those tools and start scanning, right? And if you start scanning, you will get an idea. You will get some information, right? You will get some information of the open ports, right? Their service, what service they are offering. You will get some information from the application headers as well, the service banners, right? So you will while you are scanning, right, you will need to know what actual technology you are scanning and what information you will get, and then you will know how to exploit it. Okay, so there are various aspects of it when you're scanning some environment. Okay, so when you scan some environment, you will there are few technologies that you will encounter that you would not know that what actually it is. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you won't understand how to exploit it. There are various ways. There are various open source information. Okay, which you know open source platforms which will guide you that how this technology works. So learning is the core thing to perform an external PT, because not everyone knows everything. Okay, so you will encounter some technologies which you have never worked on. Okay, so for example, if you are considering that you have gathered some information, some IP addresses, you have done your scanning. Okay, so what actually you will look for? Okay, so if you're considering a web applications, you will look for domains and subdomains. If some of you who have recently, or who are freshers or have not experience in testing part, so if you scan some IP address, or if you get some URL, okay, so you would see that address bar which ends somewhere, it's actually the domain, and there are various subdomains of it. Okay, if we consider, for example, let's take some bank, ICICI Bank or some bank. Okay, ICICI Bank does not only provide banking services. Okay, their subdomains are like they would also provide you insurance. Okay, they are into stock markets and various other businesses. So those are the bank's subdomains is. Okay, so you'll have to enumerate. Enumeration is a very big thing. It's very important in external penetration testing, right? So when you are scanning some domain, you will have to look for subdomains as well. Okay, it's very crucial. It's very crucial to understand the organization internet's presence. Okay, so you will have to find potential entry points. Okay, so that's very important. And other informations which it's exposing externally, right? Some informations which are not which should not be kept on the internet, like customers data. For example, if you have scanned some if you have scanned some banks environment. Okay, if you have scanned some banks environment and you see some subdomains, for example, an ICICI Bank's stock market domain subdomain which you have scanned, and you can see that some user information is being revealed, like their phone number or contact address, that falls under that would fall under information disclosure part. It is considered under PII data. If you follow a security framework, OWASP, that is Open Web Application Security Protocol, right? So there are various security standards that we follow. Okay, so amongst that, a customer's information or customer's data, which is specific to that customer. Okay, like their phone number or email address or their contact address, their physical address. So this part is also a part, fall under external penetration testing. Okay, so apart from domains and subdomains, phone numbers and contact addresses, you would also get, if you enumerate continuously, you will, find some usernames as well. Okay, usernames along with their email addresses. Okay, if we talk about phone number and contact addresses, you sometimes as I said, active and passive scan. Okay, so there is one more concept of social engineering. Okay, so social engineering also requires, collecting information and manipulating human to spilling out some information, right? So domains and subdomains, phones, contact addresses, phone numbers, usernames and emails, and yes, the major one, which while you scan some open ports and its services. So you'll have to have good knowledge on how a DNS works, how enumeration works, how you scan an IP address. If not an IP address, you've got a whole subnet. You'll need to know how to get an idea how to scan for actual live, live host. They will give you, if many of you who are not technical and who have just entered the cybersecurity domain, a subnet is where they would provide you a group of IP addresses. So amongst all those group of IP addresses, many of them would not be working. Okay, only a few of them they would have taken into use. So you will have to find live host by using the tools which I've said earlier, as I said, Nessus and Nmap and everything. And after identifying the after identifying the live host, you will need to know what actually it's doing, what's the actual server it's providing, whether it's a firewall's IP address, it's an application server or anything. Okay, and after identifying the service, you'll have to identify the open port. Okay, so considering scanning, you will need to know the services, what actually services it's providing. So you have to have basic knowledge of what this technology works. Then you'll have to find the open ports for for those technologies, and you'll need to know, you'll have to have understanding of what that port does. Okay, you'll have to identify the open ports, and you'll need to know that how this port works and what's actually the protocol of this port. Okay, so these are the phases of some performing external penetration testing. There are few, as I said, there are few techniques. There are two techniques like active and passive scanning. So there are few open source website as well. I'll suggest you, if you can, if you want to check, you can check it online as well. There is a website, FOFA. Okay, so FOFA is, I'll drop this in the chat as well. If you guys want to look for it over the internet, you can check it. FOFA is actually a search engine which are developed by Chinese. it actually majorly focuses on finding, internet connected devices and services. It's actually similar to Shodan. Many of you who have actually started into the cybersecurity domain, into the VAPT domain, might be aware of this extension, right? Shodan.io. So it is a very powerful tool. We'll just have to add your, enter the domain name, and will it will help you with the top servers, what all servers it's using, right? And what all open ports it has scattered. So FOFA is a very good tool, right? Another domain, another protocol which we use, which everyone majority of you might have heard, which is Whois. Okay, so what Whois does is, it will help you with the domain registration information. Okay, you will get to know that this domain is actually registered by which organization, who owns this domain. It will have the register information, and you, if you get lucky, you will also find administrative contacts for this specific target domain. Okay, another thing you will get to know is the ownership of the IP addresses. Okay, uh, you'll get to know the information about IP addresses blocks as well. Okay, and yes, of course, a DNS record identification as well. All right. Apart from this, as I said earlier, there is one more extension is Shodan, right? It's a Firefox extension. Okay, if you have Firefox browser, you can download Shodan, or I guess you can add it into any browser, right? Shodan is a search engine which we majorly use for service and port scanning, right? So if you and also if you want to know the geolocation and organization information, right? And what the best part about Shodan is, it will actually reflect with it is actually integrated. Shodan is actually integrated with a vulnerability database, right? It has been integrated with the no, this is not a GitHub tool, Arkati. FOFA and Whois. If you directly go on the internet, if you open any browser, you directly type FOFA or you directly type Whois on the internet. Okay. So those are search engines only. You'll you can search it on the browser and you will directly get it. Okay. So as I was saying, Shodan is actually integrated integrated with vulnerability databases. There are lot of vulnerability databases in the open platform over the internet, like CVEs, right? There are CWEs as well. So if you put some information into Shodan, okay, if you put some information into the Shodan, it will also help you with actual vulnerability uh, it has found while scanning, or what all open source platform has gathered the information related to the organization's infrastructure. Okay, another method, I'll just drop it in the chat. You might all be aware of Shodan. No, it's shodan.io. Look for FOFA, look for Whois, look for Shodan, uh, search it as the session ends. You search for any organization. You'll get to know all the information related to its IP addresses, servers, CVs, and everything. Because you don't actually have the information, right? When we are not performing an external PT, we are just doing regular testing. These are the information which we are provided from the client side only. Okay, so we don't need to actually look for the information over the internet. But if you are doing an external penetration testing, you are doing it from an attacker's point of view. So the client would not actually provide you the uh, uh, can I provide URL provided by client in this website, whether it will be logged and use it for any other suspicious activity. I didn't actually get the question. Can I provide? Yes, you can actually enter the URL provided by the client, but when you are performing an external external penetration testing, no URL would be provided. You'll have to look for the information by yourself over the internet. As I said, for example, if you're considering ICICI Bank or any other bank, Yes Bank, Citibank, or anything, you just know that this bank is our client. Now you'll have to go on the internet, and as I said, you'll have to do enumeration. You'll have to look for the information over these open source tools, right? You'll have to use some direct enumeration tools to look for the subdomains, IP addresses, and everything, right? So you'll have to gather the information. In external penetration testing, client won't provide you any information. Okay, you're testing it from an attacker's point of view. As a real-time attacker, no information is provided to him or her. Okay, so you'll have to do it by yourself only to gather all the information and scanning it and enumerating it and exploiting it. And yes, one of the techniques that is very good is called Google Docking. Google Docking. Yeah, you can search Google Docking over the internet as well. Google Docking is basically a filter. Okay. Some of you might not be aware of Google Docking. What Google Docking does is it also helps in enumerating. Okay. So there are numerous filters of Google. If you find it, I'll tell you, 80% of the internet does not know how to Google. They directly type what they know. Okay. So these are actually filters. Google Docking are actually filters of Google. So you will get to know. You directly Google on the on the search bar, and you get a lot of information. Then you'll you'll manually scroll and look for the actual website and actual information. You will look for what website would provide you the information you need. But if you use Google Docking, search over the internet, and you will find several filters related to Google Docking. And while enumerating, if you have found, see, if you're scanning some website and you get to know that this website is actually built on WordPress. Okay, so you will you go over the internet, you type that WordPress Google Doc filters. Okay, WordPress vulnerabilities, you will get to know that there is a Google Doc filter of WP config. Okay, you apply it, and there's one more filter like site. You type the site name, and then you use the WP config filter. Okay, that is called in text. For example, I'll help you with one of the filter. For example, this is how you type uh abcbank.com. Okay, here you have typed the bank's name, paste. Okay, one more filter called in text. Okay, and now you will look for the WP config. Okay, this is an example, just an example, so that we are on the same page. So this is just an example. This is your target site, any bank, in text. Apart from WP config, you can look for PHP files or any files. And site and in text are just two of the filters. There are many filters. Okay, Google Docking is a very beautiful technique to find the information running in the wild. Okay, uh, there are there is one more site. Okay, if you are not sure, that if which site has the which if you have got some email address. For example, you have got an email address, you have scanned some banks subdomains, enumerated few IP addresses. You are not sure if this IP or not IP addresses, email addresses. You have got a customer's email address. Okay, now you want to know, you will do some brute forcing of its password and everything, but it has a multi-factor authentication and everything. You are not getting the password. Okay, so what you will do is, there is a site which is called Have I Been Pwned. Look for this site over the internet, put the email address, and when you put the email address, uh, you will get the information that where all which all website has its data, where all its data leak has happened. Okay. For example, if there is an email address like abc@gmail.com, and abc@gmail.com was using there was a platform, right? Before TikTok and Musically, there was a platform called dubsmash.com. It had a data breach, and many users' email addresses and passwords and other information got compromised. Right. So it what have I been pond would do is it will help you with the information that yes, this email address data was leaked on this domain. You try it, and when please try, and you will get to know that how this works. You will capitalize on it. You'll get to know. You will by your creativity only you can capitalize on it, and you'll get to know how this works. Okay. Now, these are see all these tools which I've mentioned. Okay, all these tools which I've mentioned is for gathering information like FOFA, Who is, Todan, Google Talking, uh, Have I Been Pond. So these are the open source website. Now you have gathered a lot of information from this website: domain name, email addresses, server endpoints, some technologies which are vulnerable, and everything. I can see the PPT page. Are you displaying anything? No, I'm not displaying anything. I'm not displaying anything. I'm on the Zoom workplace page and only. This is the PPT, and this PPT here only you will get to know that all of it is a theory only. You will not know much of the information. Okay. What I'm saying is not available on the PPT part. Okay. Some security standard frameworks and scanners related information, but it won't actually provide you with the what all skills you are required and everything. But what I'm saying is not available in the PPT. It's something extra, the tools name and everything. Okay. We'll share this PPT. You can go through it that to understand the actual definition who are freshers and who want to know that what's the actual use and what is actually external penetration testing. But the guys who have actually started, right? It's for them. So you will get to know how to you know go further in this. Okay, let me just use the chat. Okay. So yes, PPT doesn't have it. It has all the theory information. I'll drop everything for you guys in the chat itself, so you'll get a better idea that how external penetration testing works. So yes, allow me a minute, guys. Huh? Okay. So the tools which I mentioned were a majority of it, or all of it, were for enumeration part and catering information. Now comes the scanning. You have got the information. Now where will you put the information? You got few information which you have put on the site. Oh, look, you can provide e-certificate for those who are in the class, please. You will have to ask Shahid for this. You can directly reach out to CyberON team for this. Okay. Now, moving on to the scanning and enumeration part. Okay, you got few information. You have put it on the search engines and everything. You got few informations from the open source platform. Now, how would you, from the collecting information from reconnaissance, which is the first step of hacking, you will move to scanning part. Now, what are the scanning part? What are the scanning tools? If you have an IP address, okay. For example, if you have some host as well, if you have your Kali Linux installed, download a tool called Nikto. Okay, Nikto is a tool. If you have your if you have some domain name or a URL, was okay. If you have a domain name, for example, www.abc.com, you have installed Nikto in your Kali Linux machine. You just have to start the tool and write a command. I think this is the command nikto-h or abc.com, right? It will help you with the actual public IP of this address. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is the actual public IP. This is the IP which it's trying to hit on the infra level. Okay, you won't even know if it's a switch address or any other address or load balancer address. There are other tools as well. I'll add one more to it. Information area. I'll add hunter.io as well. It's also a very good tool. Okay. Now, for scanning and exploitation, as I said, Nikto. Okay. Apart from you got the IP address of at least their infra level. It's a public IP, but you're not sure if it's an actually origin server IP or anything. It's just hitting the IP address. It will just resolve the IP address and give you the IP address of that URL, right? Because if you scan from the tools, for the scanning purpose, if you talk about Nmap, right, you can actually there is a GUI version of Zenmap as well, but it will it would not work properly, right? It will first resolve the URL and it will get the public IP address, and then Nmap is actually it is good in scanning the IP address. But if you go with the DNS resolving, that you are going to resolve the URL and you will get the public IP address, there are specific dedicated tools for it. So use those dedicated tools only, not to leave everything on Nmap. Okay. So apart from Nikto, you got the IP address. Now you scan. Now you scan the IP addresses. There are numerous n number of command prompts for this, right? How you want to scan. As I said earlier, there are commercial tools as well. As I said, Tenable has developed Nessus. There is a community edition. I think it's called community edition, free version only, where you have 14 free scans for Nessus. Okay, so you can, if you've got a range of IP addresses, you can scan it in Nmap as well, but Nessus is, more powerful in, scanning the actual live host. If you want to know if the Nito, can I provide IP? Was CMD? Yes, you can provide IP range as well. You'll have to look for Nikto. If you go on GitHub, you'll get to know all the commands related to how to provide the IP range and everything. You have to, you'll get the command to install it as well in your Kali Linux machine. But I, Nikto won't, scan your IP range. Nmap would scan your IP range. Nmap would scan your IP range. Nikto is for server banner grabbing. It's a dedicated tool for server banner grabbing. And if you use Nikto, if you go to its documents, you'll get to know better that it's for basically, if you have some URL, it will help you finding its IP address. Now you have got the IP address, move to Nmap and find what all you can, scan any open ports, any live services, any services which it provides. Okay, so scanning is first you get to go to Nikto, get the IP address of a URL, then go to Nmap, scan the IP address. There are several scans. You can use Nmap as well, and you can use Nessus as well. Okay, to scan the IP addresses. Okay, now comes the next part. After you have scanned the IP addresses, for example, if there is a abcbank.com, you got the IP address from Nikto. Okay, you scan the IP address on Nmap. Okay, you got an open port. Now what will you then do next? Okay, so there is a tool. Uh, It is called MSF console, or you can say it is Metasploit as well. You can directly, there is a Windows version as well. Okay, you can directly install it in your Windows. If you want to install, you can. If you want to install, you can directly install it in your Kali Linux machine as well, right? First, try to learn about how MSF works. Okay, then you will get to know that what how to perform it and how to you know uh, exploit this vulnerability or exploit this open port. As I said earlier, you will need to know. See, if you have scanned the nmap, if you have used the nmap and scanned the IP address, okay, the information which you have got, okay, of the open port. First, try to learn about those open port. That what actually is the purpose of this port. Then you will be able to correctly exploit it into the MSF venom. Okay, so there are several test cases as well, which I won't be able to share. Just a second. So I'll help you with the a few important ports. Okay, I'll just write it down. Okay, I still have not put it into the chat. I'm just typing, but believe that I have started screen sharing, so all of you can see. Okay, so these are the okay, I forgot to add. This is not visible. I'm actually sharing my screen. Is it not visible? Only PPT. Not visible. I'll reshare. Just a second.
Yeah, visible. Yes, visible. I am able to locate.
What are you saying? You're looking into the chat or?
Yeah,
No,
I am.
only the
Yeah,
PowerPoint is
yes,
visible,
I am looking
not your
chat
chat.
also and your message also.
Okay. Only few people are able to see the meeting chat, Zoom chat, which I have shared. I'm not sure why.
They need to check chat history, na? So that if
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. I'll just reshare. Just a second. Now I have reshared the screen. Is it visible? Everyone can see the Zoom workplace, the Zoom application, which I
No, sir, only the PPT is visible.
uh,
Only the PPT is visible.
the PPT is I'll just close the PPT. I'll just stop sharing only. Just a second. Allow me a minute. Let me check if I have the. I'm sharing entire screen only. Can you please check if Firefox browser is visible? It is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
right. So I'll just go through all the stuff which I've said earlier. Okay. So first we went to scanning. Okay. Enumeration. Enumeration, we had a lot of information. See, I was talking about this FOFA. This is FOFA search engine. Okay. Type any bank, ICICI bank or any bank. See, it's using Cloudflare. Here we got a HTTP header response as well. What are the geopolitical reasons as well? It has 650 unique IP, so it has a 650 of unique IP addresses, public IP addresses, and IP range as well. Okay, it has a Cloudflare server. Look for the so we have got information that they're using Cloudflare technology, so it's cloud. Okay, so this is not the origin IP address. Top open ports, it's using HTTPS, but a lot of them are using 80 vulnerable ports as well. These are top servers, Apache server, right? Which has a 79 of their servers are Apache server, so they are using Log4j. So it's vulnerable to Log4j if they are using an outdated version. Okay. All right. So there are a lot of information which you can look for. Lots and lots of information. You just have to search about it. Okay. For example, you got the information that they are using Apache. Search for Apache. So Google Apache vulnerabilities. You'll get to know that it is vulnerable to Log4j. Okay. Search for the Log4j vulnerabilities. Which version it is vulnerable to. You will get to know the Apache version it is vulnerable to. Search what of their services are using Apache this version. Try Log4j. So this is how the informations are enumerated. Okay, apart from FOFA, you have the Shodan. This is an extension, or you have Shodan.io extension, or you can use it directly as well. I'll help you with Google Doc all filters list. And this is a Google Doc sheet. See, this is how these are all the Google filters which you can use with all their examples, right? See, you need some login pages of any website. Here's how you can use it. There are a lot of open source information which you can check. Okay. You can use Nikto as well. Nikto, I think if you Nikto GitHub web server scanner. See, this is a git clone command. You can clone it into your Kali Linux machine as well. There are if you go back, you can see there are other tools as well. Okay. Nessus for Nessus chat bar is coming. How do I slide it? Okay. Uh, Nessus Essential. It's called Essential. Professionals require a license. For the Essential one, you can directly download it. You will just have to register for it, and you'll get 16 free IP scans. Okay. Uh, Similarly, you can in your Kali Linux machine you can download Nmap and other tools as well. Okay. And also MSF console. Try to these are the major ports. If many of you who have just started offensive security, learning about offensive security, these are the major ports. Okay, learn about it. What is FTP, what is SMTP and everything, what is HTTP, what is HTTPS, how this protocol works. And if you get an open port, learn about Metasploit, how it would actually try to exploit these ports. Okay, don't try to damage any organization's data. And yes, some of you who might be trying to install the MSF into your Windows system, it would your Windows Windows firewall would detect it as malicious, because what MSF Metasploit does is it has pre-built malware scripts which it would inject into the open port. So your Windows system would detect is a malware. It you know and would try to block it. So you can allow the permission and you can install it. There is not an issue. Okay. So there are several numerous test cases as well, but I won't be able to share.
So Metasploit can be installed on Windows or need to be installed
Yes,
on Kali Linux.
yeah, both. You can install it on both platforms. Is not an issue. Okay. So final stage is reporting what all information and see, you have performed all the activities. You have gathered the information. You have put it into the scanning tools, and after scanning tools, you found the vulnerabilities, and later on you perform penetration testing using Metasploit, exploiting the vulnerabilities. Okay. So the first phase was enumeration. You got the information. Second was scanning. You have the scan tools. After scanning, you found the vulnerabilities. Now comes the third one, exploitation. You perform exploitation. The fourth part comes reporting. Before you move to reporting, you should know what actually you have to report. So try to learn all the security framework, security standards, that what all vulnerabilities you can actually report. Okay, you'll have to. I have some demo reports, but I won't be able to share as those are confidentials. But few things that you should keep in mind. Okay, uh, you should have an understanding how to report vulnerabilities. Okay, yeah, the format should be correct. Okay, and the first thing is the person. Okay, this is the major part. This is the major part. For it's as important as VAPT reporting and documentation. The thing is, you should know what actually the vulnerability is. Then only you would be able to make the client understand. Okay, because the client is not technical. If he would have been technical, he would have been performing VAPT by himself. Okay, so you'll have to explain them in a layman's language. If you tell them, yeah, this port is open, this script we have run, and this is the vulnerability which you have got, he would not know. Okay, what all you have done. You will just have to tell them that this system is in danger. Okay, this is the severity. My profile link. I don't have it logged in here, but I'll just type the name. Or Shahid will share you in the group. I'll share in the group if you're all in the CyberON group. I'll share in the group. So coming to the point, if we the main it's as important as VAPT process. You'll have guys are not technical, so you'll have to make them understand in a layman's language, and the only way they would understand your concern is you understand it first, that how important or how vulnerable it is. And the second thing, severity. Okay, you guys must have just started or must have not entered into the offensive security domain, few of you. Okay, so try not to over exaggerate a vulnerability, that no, this is not low, this is high, this is critical. Okay, and try not to limit it down. No, this is not very critical, this is low only. You don't have to worry about it, because later on there are few parts of cybersecurity as well, like compliance rules and everything. Okay, so last में आप ही फटेगा. So try to understand first security frameworks. Go through the OWASP security categories and SANS top 10 and everything, and try to understand what all are the vulnerabilities that you can actually report. Don't report anything out of the blue, and don't overlook something. कि क्या है engines का server ही version ही disclosure है ना, क्या ही हो जाएगा. No, this is also vulnerability. Okay, so you first try to understand that what all you can report, then try to make a report. Okay, so it's as important as the whole VAPT process of remunerating, scanning, and then exploiting. Okay, and fourth party is actually really difficult to make someone understand who is not technical, that how it is danger to them. right? And it is something out of the context for all of you people, but try to improve the communication part as well. That would help you a lot entering into the cybersecurity. Okay. Any other questions if anyone has?
Uh, I have one question.
Yes.
So suppose we have gone through all the process, and in, let's say, in reporting we have mentioned few things, right? And uh, at suppose we have a like you said, we need to understand the client as well what we have report. So suppose tomorrow there is a meeting and we have already shared the report, like let's say 2 3 days earlier, but before the meeting you identify that some point has been missing, or the severity need to be changed. So how can we approach that, like in the meeting directly do the clarification, or make the report like a final version and then distribute it?
It's actually a very good question. So, why reporting is a phase which is also divided into several parts. Okay, when you create a report, it doesn't directly go to the client. Okay, it doesn't directly go to the client. It goes for review. It goes for review to your seniors. Your seniors will review it. Your seniors will review it, and they will, they have a lot of experience. They would, figure out that he has identified this sort of vulnerabilities. So, was he following this checklist, and was he doing this next? Which is the next step of exploitation. So he will directly ask you if you have performed. If the reviewer has also missed out, okay, and it has gone to the client, and if you have identified, okay, so you can directly talk to their project managers and everything. You could directly report it to the developers team, because a VAPT team, as information security team, has lot of leverage and lot of power. Okay, security is a very big concern. So if you're in an organization, you say that this is a vulnerability and it is critical, it has to be fixed today. A developer team will sit all night to fix it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Just don't miss out any.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone has any question? Feel free to ask any question. Okay. All right. I guess there is no questions. If anyone has any question, you can drop it into the WhatsApp group as well. If कभी भी spot पे कुछ याद नहीं आता, बाद में कभी याद आता है कि ये पूछना तो रह गया, so you can drop it into the WhatsApp group as well. I will answer it.
Brother, I have one question.
Yes, please.
What are the prerequisites for VAPT? Means, starting से किस तरह से करना है, मतलब suppose I am a fresher for in VAPT.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, for example, yes, I'll tell you. तो
yes.
अगर किसी चीज को भी तोड़ना है ना, तो बनी कैसे वो आना चाहिए, right? As I said earlier, if you want to break into a web application, you should know what all standards or what all you know uh, versions or platforms it has been built on, and what all technologies it are being used, what all server it is using, how a web application works, what are APIs, what are their functionalities. I'm not saying you have to be expert into it. Okay, just basic to intermediate level of knowledge. Okay, if you are considering an Android application, you should know that how an Android application is working, how an APK package works. Okay, and okay, there are a few questions dropping into the chat as well. I'll answer it just a second. So, so you will need to know, if you are talking about network, you can't directly go and scan the IPs and not know that how an IP address works, how a packet works, and what actually are the headers and body, and what are its parameters which we can exploit into a packet. Okay, what are the ports? You find the open ports, but you don't know what actually is vulnerable in the open ports, what actually is the service. So you will need to first know that just have basic or intermediate level of knowledge of web application, API, and network. The mobile application, Android and iOS are, and thick lines all are, more than intermediate level. So it would be very, if you guys have knowledge, then it's good. But you can start from web and API first, or at least network scanning. Most of the guys which I know in the industry have started from the VA scans, right? They were just doing scanning, get the automated report from the Nessus tool, and then they forward it to the uh, team who are going to mitigate it. So if you want to start, you can start from the web application, API, and network. Just get the basic knowledge how these things work, and then you can start how to break it. Okay, Sonu Singh has asked, sir, I'm working in SIM team. What can I go in VAPT? Okay, you want to go into VAPT? Okay, SIM tool is, see, I'll tell you, SIM tool, if you're doing, there are a lot of profiles. If you're in SIM profile, you can, first jump into VA plus SOC profile. There are a lot of VA plus SOC profile. First go to the assessment profile, then you can jump into the PT profile, dedicatedly VAPT profile. Okay, if you want to directly go to into the VAPT profile, they will consider you as fresher. Okay, from the industry perspective, they will consider you as fresher, as offensive security is a totally different domain. So you can take a step at a time. And also, as I said, learn few technologies, SIM tools. I know these are, I worked on SIM tools as well. So these are actually integrated with firewalls and EDRs and everything. So you guys just get to, get the logs and everything. But still, you will get an understanding that how, how the vulnerabilities, what vulnerability is related to which technology. So you'll get a better understanding. Any other questions?
As you explained, like what is the prerequisite over here? Like we start with the web API network scanning. Apart from that, do we require a coding knowledge as well, or understanding of like how the code work? So my question is,
Yes. So coding knowledge, no. How code works? Yes. Okay. So deep down, you would need a coding knowledge to, you see, coding is required for specific technologies. For network security or network VAPT, you won't be required coding. For web in API, you would just need to know that how coding works, how a Python script works, or how a Java language works, right? But you can get open source payloads from the internet as well. There are several tools for it. If we consider about mobile, see, it depends on the technologies, right? So if you are talking about Android testing, mobile application testing, in which Android and iOS part comes. Okay. So in that, there are two set of testing, which is static and dynamic. Dynamic, you will have to just, do the test on the UI level itself. But if you talk about static, you will get the source code. You will get the source code. Now, how will you analyze the source code without having coding knowledge? Okay, or how a code works. So different set of skills require, different set of technologies require different set of skills. So you would need a coding knowledge for specific type of testing, but just to enter VAPT, it is not necessary to require any coding knowledge. Just know how the code works. Just know how, just the really just the baseline basic, not much. You can enter into the VAPT with just web API and network. Just know how the testing flow is. But if you want to go, further in this field, at some sort of level, you will actually be required, in source code reviews and everything. In some sort of technologies, you would be required to have some knowledge on coding. How to apply VAPT jobs? See, start with, there are a lot of, depends. I'll tell you. There are a lot of cities where VAPT growth is very less because it is actually not required. It is actually, VAPT is required as per compliance, and it is mostly done into the head offices or in an actual environment. So if there is a scarcity of VAPT jobs in your area, there are a lot of online internships as well which you can do, and an internship is a great, great add in your resume. Although you can, if you have good knowledge, you can crack interviews. There are several walk-ins, and create a good resume. Create a good resume. See, as I said earlier, web API network. These are your key to enter into the VAPT. It is these three technologies which are way easier than other technologies. If you talk about cloud VAPT, mobile application VAPT, thick clients, IoT testing, OT testing, wireless testing, web API and network are way easier than those. It is not easy, but easier than those technologies which I have mentioned. Okay, so just to get a start, learn three technologies because at least two or three technologies are required by any organization. Okay, so web API and network are way easier than other other types of testing and other technologies, and at least two or three technologies, not just web, not just network, web API network. Just get basic knowledge of how this works and try to capitalize how testing works on these platforms, which is good for career perspective. Working in SIM, both are good. The whole security domain is good. All of my SIMSOC friends are also doing good. My VAPT colleagues are also doing good.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, 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 sure.
Yeah. You back to your point that you were just mentioned about the internship and those opportunities, and I find it's really the entering barrier is very high, I believe, because I've tried so much attempt that I barely can find an opportunity for internship or something, and look, I do my sort of learnings on my own. I have basics, but I really need like a proper practice and proper environment to, put the things into practice and learn that way. But wherever I find a job or opportunity, and most of them, like in the job description itself, is written as like even associate or junior level, saying like you need to have at least 2-3 years of experience in pen test environment. So
Right.
that is sort of like a big barrier for me,
Right.
and that's why I don't know, like, what's your position on that one? Like, do you have specific instruction that where we can practice or where we can do an internship sort of thing in terms of information?
From internship and all this point, perspective, so from the CyberON idea, I guess Shahid has joined. He might help you, but what my experience is, yes, what you have said is correct. Right. So majority of the you know job description actually includes 2 or 3 years of experience or at least 1 year of experience. So to cross that barrier, I believe it is very difficult because of a lot of my friends are actually struggling with that only. So how they do is they you know majority of the I would say 60% of my friends, okay, who have started the VAPT career, they've actually been placed by their colleges. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So they have tie-ups with the organization. They come for interview, and some are not able to crack those as well. So if you are going standalone, okay, if you know as in if you're not from a college or anywhere, not an institution or something, if you're going individually and applying anywhere, okay, so the best thing you can do is craft your resume, have some lab experience, like try to solve live labs, have some
Yep.
have at least one certification on your name so you can cross that barrier. Because what
Okay.
they do is what they do is, see, it is not that they are more qualified than you, or
Yeah.
I should let me correct myself. It is not that they have more skills than you. There might be something which you know better than them. There might be something they might know better than you. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just that you will have to craft your resume in a way. that is where I have helped a few of my friends as well to craft their resume in a way, because what they have is they have a shortlisting criteria. You go into
Yeah.
any firm, you go to into any firm, they will actually hire a person, okay, which pass the shortlisting criteria of a client. Okay, if a client requires someone who is an engineer, if there is a PO which comes, that project offerings which comes, that we need an engineer who is who is BTech or BE or anything, who has master's degree or has some certification on his name, then only we will consider him for this role. So, or any of this certification. So you'll have to make your resume good, craft it in a way that it shows that you have what it takes to handle their client. See it in that
Yeah.
way.
Okay. Okay.
And try
In
to.
terms of yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, in terms of like where you just mentioned about the college and stuff, do you have something specifically in mind that you recommend that who can give sort of like a real life experience in terms of like
Mm,
internship or the college sort of thing?
I'll tell you, most of the colleges are in today's world are, I'll be direct with you, are scams only. Okay.
Yeah.
All the
Okay.
co- what all college professors will do is they will come, they would have a, you know, what they say, they have their syllabus syllabus that you should have this,
Syllabus.
yes, syllabus, limited sort of teaching, and they would teach you, and then you'll have to capitalize on those, and you'll have to find out a way how to uh,
Mm.
gain something from it, and how to use it into the real environment. But
Yeah.
you try to solve labs, post figure labs, hack the box labs, try hack me labs, or anything. Try to find
Yeah.
something in real environment. Show your achievements on your resume. I'm saying your resume is your key. Okay,
Yeah.
craft your
Okay.
resume in a way to convince the recruiter that you can handle their client. That's it. Or at least have three technologies. Okay. Previously, it used to have that, yes, this guy can do web application. Okay, no issues. Now they require that someone who can handle at least two or three technologies like web API, network, mobile, right?
Yeah.
Two or three technologies. So build your resume. You will find
Mm.
something.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any mentorship you could recommend? Like, because I think based on what you're saying, I think I really need my
Mhm.
resume to be framed again. I've done some try hack me. I've almost complete the offensive security room that they're like 10 or 11
Mhm.
good labs that I have completed, but the rooms is not still yet completed entirely. But I guess I need like a resume to be crafted and as well as a proper mentor to who can lead
Right.
the way of like framing the resume properly and also lead to what to do next sort of thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you. See, VAPT. I'll be honest with you. VAPT is something. I'll tell you the real life scenario. VAPT is something which uh, so please share how make VAPT resume. Okay, sure. So Yusuf, VAPT is something which an organization would not, not even look into it if it was not a compliance point.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So from a compliance point of view, they actually do VAPT, right? And
Yeah.
what they do is they have their head branches located into major cities. Okay, either they would ask you to work remotely, or they would ask you to come to move to the dedicated city. So
Mm.
so it is very common for a VAPT professional to actually relocate to a different city, because I've been to many cities in India, and uh, I'll say, apart from the major cities, the tier two cities or tier three cities, what they have is they don't actually have the VAPT projects because it is not required there.
Okay.
Okay, they have mixed profile. they have mixed profiles like VAPT plus SOC and everything. Okay,
Mhm.
so you don't just look for the jobs in your local city or anywhere, right? It
Yeah.
is required. It has a great demand in major cities. If I would
Yeah.
recommend like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, right? So Pune, right? So these are few
Yeah.
major cities, Chennai as well. So these are major cities which actually has you know finance institutions, major banks, which actually require to follow the compliance rules, which
Mhm.
so they have to actually perform VAPT, and there is a scarcity as well, right? But most of the people don't consider relocating to a new place. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is why there is a scarcity. But yes, these are the major cities who actually need to follow the compliance and perform assessment every once or twice in a year and have some dedicated resources for it. So there are a lot of jobs available. Okay, uh,
Mhm.
in dedicated cities only. So don't just look if you are
Okay.
searching for job online. Don't just look for a job in your local area. Try to go further. Like if uh, you're in Delhi.
No, I'm not from India. I'm in Australia.
Okay, you're actually sitting in Australia. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so don't actually look for the job in your specific area. You
Yeah.
might have to relocate to a new place as well, but go beyond your area and you'll find that yes, this is the major city, this is the tier 1 city which actually has a lot of financial institutions, banks, right? This is a
Mm.
financial capital, and it actually requires to follow the compliance. And the benefit of it is that even if my friend has also done it, uh, the fear of scarcity to fill the project deadline and have the resources, even though the interview is 40 or 50% good, they know that you are a trainable candidate, so they would train you
Mm.
and send you to the client side. That's how
Yeah.
it works. So you just have to find a place where you're worth, right? Where they can train you and where they can send you. If you look for a place where there is a lot of competition, there is not even projects, and you're trying to search for a job there, it would be very difficult for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hard part I'm finding now. Like,
Right.
trying to work on like at least some sort of EJPT or PJ with PJPT, I think, for DCM security.
Mm,
Yeah, one of
right.
those to at least showcase the
Hmm.
eligibility of
And
the
so
job
so so
criteria.
so, so I'll tell you here. So see, majority, or I'd say 95% of job description would not include EJPT or everything. If you will
Yeah.
most probably see CH or OSCP. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm not saying that EJPT and other certifications are not good. That's not it. It's not like that. They might be good.
Mm.
And the job poster also doesn't think like that. It's just that the
Mm. True.
client requirement is they feel that CH is a global standard, even though there might be some technologies or some concept which CH might not be offering and EGPT is offering.
Mm.
In some way, EGPT would also be better than CH. But it's just
Mm.
that there is a global standard which has been set in cybersecurity
Yeah.
that if you want to enter VAPT or SIMSOC, CH should be there. You must be CH
Okay.
qualified. So if from knowledge point of view, if you want to do EJPT or TCM security certification, you can. But
Mm.
if you're talking about something to add in your resume, trust me, there is nothing better than CEH for a fresher to add into a resume to
Mm.
get shortlisted. You will get better knowledge
Okay.
in TCM security certification for EJPT, but the truth is there is a global standard set for CEH.
Yeah. Okay. So you recommend CH works better
Yes,
in terms of resume? Yeah.
yes, in terms of getting shortlisted,
Shortlisted.
yeah, not in terms of getting. There are various, competitive certifications as well. Uh,
Yeah.
which can, outside CH, but CH, as I said, global standard which has been set by a lot of, clients which they ask from recruiters that yes, we need someone, we need a certified ethical hacker, so CH certified would be good. They don't know about
Yeah.
certifications. Client don't know about that there are various other certifications which are better than CH.
Mm-hmm.
They only
Sure.
know about so they only ask, yeah, CH certification, yeah, we can consider. So that's how it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Really, really appreciate your help. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks. Yeah. How to share? Okay, I'll drop you a site. I've been to this. Oh, okay, Canva. It was only so. What Canva does is, I'm not able to share it. Just a second, huh? To- Okay, Canva is a site. It's a very good site. I've been crafting resume on Canva since very long. It has pre. No, it is just a suggestion. You can search for other platforms as well, but I've been using Canva for a long time. It has a good resume format, so it's good. So no saying ArcSight. I'm okay. Okay, ArcSight is also good. Uh, See, Sonu, I'll tell you, if you are working in SIM environment,
सर
uh,
गुड आफ्टरनून सर आई
yes, good
एम
afternoon.
स्पीकिंग सोन
Yes,
सर
Sonu.
मैं सेम टूल में मैं काम करता हूँ यहाँ पे एनआईसी
Hmm.
में
Hmm.
और सर मैं अपना डोमेन चेंज करना चाह रहा हूँ VAPT में तो क्या
Hmm.
पॉसिबल है लगभग यहाँ
Possible.
पे मैं एक
Huh.
साल 2 महीने में काम किया हूँ यहाँ पे सिम टूल पे अभी मैं कर रहा हूँ
Hmm.
और
नहीं,
इसके साथ साथ मैंने नेटवर्क पीटी का मैंने असेसमेंट भी करवाया है यहाँ पे एक ट्रिपल ए कंपनी के थ्रू मतलब मैं
hmm.
ऑब्जर्वेशन कर रहा था वे लोग कर रहे थे मैं नहीं कर रहा था और 300 एप्लीकेशन का मैंने ऑडिट करवाया था।
तो इसमें मेन चीज तो यही रहेगी कि अगर आपको स्विच करना है ना, डायरेक्टली अगर वीए पीटी में जा रहे हो, सी वीए और पीटी बहुत अलग अलग चीज है।
अच्छा ओके
हाँ, आपने पीटी कराया, पर पीटी के लिए बहुत एकदम एक्सटेंसिव लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज चाहिए रहता है। आपको अगर स्विच करना है आप कर सकते हो, बट इट वुड अफेक्ट, आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट विद यू, इट विल अफेक्ट विद योर सैलरी। वो आपको सीधा फ्रेशर ही कंसिडर करेंगे। ठीक है, आपके करंट सैलरी के बराबर या उससे उससे थोड़ा कम देंगे, ऐसा करेंगे। वो आपको एक्स्ट्रा नहीं देंगे until unless you have extensive VAPT एक्सपीरियंस। अगर आपको स्विच कर, मेरे बहुत सारे दोस्तों ने स्विच किया है। कुछ लोग, बिकॉज मेरे को मालूम है सिम स्टॉक में वही रहता है 24/7 मॉनिटरिंग और वो।
हाँ,
तो
वही तो प्रॉब्लम है ना सर कभी कभी
हाँ।
मतलब
हम्म।
कभी अभी जस्ट कुछ दिन पहले ये जो न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट है मुंबई में
हम्म।
तो उस पे अटैक हुआ था तो लगभग हम लोगों को लगातार 24 घंटे काम करना पड़ गया था।
वही सीन रहता है। तो उसमें एक चीज आप ये कर सकते हो कि अगर आपका यही कंसर्न है कि डे नाइट शिफ्ट
हाँ
रोटेशनल,
दिन
कभी।
नहीं डे नाइट शिफ्ट नहीं होती है लेकिन हमेशा यहाँ कुछ ना कुछ तो होता ही रहता है बम
हाँ,
फटता ही रहता है।
तो उसको अवॉइड करने के लिए वीएपीटी में आओगे तो दूसरा भी नुकसान हो जाएगा। तो मतलब
हम्म,
कैसा, आप करियर शिफ्ट करते हो ना, तो चीजें फिर से स्टार्ट करनी पड़ती है।
अच्छा
तो उसमें बेटर ये है कि अगर आपको इतना एक्सपीरियंस हो गया है, तो जैसे मेरे दोस्तों ने किया है कि आप है ना, अभी आप सॉक एनालिस्ट लेवल पे हो क्या?
नहीं नहीं मैं सिक्योरिटी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर लेवल पे हूँ।
सिक्योरिटी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर लेवल पे, ठीक है। तो
हाँ ये
अभी
सिम
हम्म।
आर्क साइड का मैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हूँ।
हाँ, अभी आप कस्टमर साइड पे हो कि आप कैसा है, मतलब
नहीं मैं तो
कस्टम मतलब क्लाइंट लेवल पे काम करते हो, या आप
हाँ
किसी सर्विस सर्विस प्रोवाइडर कंपनी से हो और आपको मतलब वो लेवल पे डाला है?
मैं क्लाइंट लेवल पे काम करता हूँ ये
ठीक
जो
है आप।
शास्त्री पार्क में है ना ये दिल्ली मेट्रो आईटी।
ओके, ठीक है।
हाँ तो वहाँ
अब
एनआईसी का डेटा सेंटर है तो उसी में
हम्म,
मेरा कंपनी का नाम है कोफोर्ज कोफोर्ज में काम।
ठीक है। तो अब इसमें बेस्ट चीज ये है कि जैसे मेरे दोस्तों ने किया, उन्होंने वो पहले एनालिस्ट और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ही थे, बट उन्होंने
जी
क्या किया, इसके आगे का एक स्टेप रहता है इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। L2 L3 लेवल पे जब सॉक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इंटीग्रेशन पे जाते हो ना, तो
हाँ
आप उसमें जा सकते हो, वो आपकी फील्ड का भी हो जाएगा। ठीक है। और वो एक लेवल एडवांस भी हो जाएगा। और वो कैसा होता है, जैसे कोफोज एक सर्विस प्रोवाइडर ही है, तो वो आपको सिर्फ डेडिकेटेड टाइम के लिए प्रोजेक्ट आएगा, आपको इम्प्लीमेंट करने भेजेगी किसी जगह पे, आपको जाना है 9 to 5 या 9 to 6 या 10 to 7 वट एवर जो आपका टाइमिंग, ऑफिशियल टाइमिंग में इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, चेक करना है। ठीक है, अगर डेडलाइन हुई तो शायद थोड़ा बहुत एक्सटेंड का वो कराते, बट इट्स बेटर देन ये सॉक एनालिस्ट वाला 24/7, बिकॉज आई नो मेरे दोस्तों ने किया है। तो उस चीज पे आप शिफ्ट करोगे आगे, सिम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन उस पे जाओगे ना, आगे थोड़ा बहुत नॉलेज लेके अगर आप उस पे जा सकते हो तो वो बेटर रहेगा। बिकॉज वीएपीटी में अगर आ रहे हो तो उसमें फिर फ्रेश मतलब आपको फिर से स्टार्ट करना पड़ जाएगा। वो आप कर सकते हो, उसके लिए जैसे मैंने
मेरे
बताया।
सैलरी यहाँ पे मतलब मेरा सैलरी कोई ज्यादा नहीं है, यहाँ पे 6 लाख है बस।
हाँ, तो वीएपीटी फ्रेशर भी आप स्टार्ट करते हो, कंपनी पे डिपेंड करता है कि कंपनी आपको कौन सा क्लाइंट देती है, क्या देती है, वो उस पे रहता है। तो आपको अगर करना है तो आप कर सकते हो, वेब एपीआई और नेटवर्क का नॉलेज ले लो, उस पर थोड़े बहुत लैब सॉल्व करो, और आपका सिम का एक्सपीरियंस दिखा देना, एज साइबर सिक्योरिटी हाइब्रिड एक्सपीरियंस आप दिखा सकते हो कि मैंने ऑफेंसिव डिफेंसिव दोनों में काम किया है, वो करके भी आप कर सकते हो।
जैसे कि मेरे यहाँ अभी मतलब इंफ्रा का ऑडिट चल रहा था,
हम्म।
तो उसमें हमें ये लोग ड्यूटी लगा दिए थे। मतलब उसमें थोड़ा थोड़ा था, मैं मतलब हर डोमेन का नॉलेज हो गया है। मतलब यहाँ केवल वही काम नहीं करवाते लोग सिम का ही,
हम्म।
वो
नहीं, मेरे
लोग
को
सब।
मालूम है। हाँ हाँ।
हाँ, इस टाइम में हमसे ये लोग हार्डनिंग करवा रहे हैं लोग, सर्वर का और सिस्टम का। क्योंकि
ओके,
ये सिक्योरिटी इन्वेस्टिगेटर तो हमेशा कुछ होता नहीं, कभी कभी जो मतलब कभी कभी डिवाइस में प्रॉब्लम होती है तो वही ट्रबल शूटिंग करनी पड़ती है।
समझा।
और बाकी तो इधर, और या तो कुछ बम फटेगा तो फिर।
हम्म।
और मैं सर रुक गया हूँ, मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ VAPT में ट्रांजिट करने की।
समझा। नहीं, आपको फिर वीएपीटी में कर सकते हो, जैसा मैंने बताया कि ये चीज़ हो सकती है, वैसा कर लो आप। वेब एपीआई और नेटवर्क का थोड़ा बहुत नॉलेज ले लो, ठीक है।
उसमें
बट सैलरी फिर थोड़ा कम होगी, या तो उसके बराबर में आपको देंगे, बट आपको फिर से मतलब स्टार्ट करना होगा। या तो फिर जो मैंने बताया कि अगर आपको नेक्स्ट लेवल जाना है, क्योंकि एक सॉक एनालिस्ट और सॉक एडमिन से ज़्यादा एक
इम्प्लीमेंटेशन,
इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के।
नहीं
हाँ।
मैं सर समझ रहा हूँ, तो
हम्म।
इम्प्लीमेंटेशन टीम में बहुत कुछ कुछ नहीं, ये तो मेरा को फोर्ज नहीं कराती है। अभी एक रा इन्फोटेक और भी कंपनी है जो इम्प्लीमेंट, उसमें भी वो अलग अलग 100 का टूल है ना, तो सबकी अलग
हम्म।
अलग किसकी यहाँ कौन सा काम कर रहा है वो।
हम्म। या
अभी
तो
से
बेस्ट ये रहेगा, बेस्ट ये
हाँ,
रहेगा कि हाँ
आर्क साइड
आपका।
जैसा, हाँ आर्क
हम्म।
आर्क साइड जैसा मार्केट में 10-15 टूल आ गए हैं, सिम टूल।
हाँ, मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, सिर्फ आर्कसाइड पे नॉलेज मत
हाँ,
रखो, स्प्लंक का भी
अब
ले लो, क्यूरेडार का भी ले लो, दो तीन का अगर आप रखोगे ना, तो उसमें ऐसा होता है कि अच्छी अच्छी कंपनीज होती है। आपको शिफ्ट का थोड़ा इशू होगा, बट वो आपको टोटली वर्क फ्रॉम दे देंगे।
हम्म,
ये कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव्स मैं बता रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे को मालूम है सॉक 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 एनालिस्ट लेवल पे कितने मेरे दोस्तों का क्या क्या हुआ है। तो मतलब
हाँ
ये चीज फिर उन्होंने ट्रांसफॉर्म किया है, तो हाँ अभी थोड़ा लेवल में आया है।
नहीं मुझे सैलरी कोई इशू नहीं, मुझे ये जो ना 24/7 प्रॉब्लम है।
समझ गया। ठीक है, तो फिर ये आप स्टार्ट कर दो, वेब एपीआई और
हाँ वही मैं, हाँ मतलब मेरे ही साथ और भी आपका जो रेड टीम वाले लोग हैं, आप वो
हम्म।
आराम से आते हैं 10-9 बजे फिर। और
उसमें फिर
हम्म,
नहीं, हमको सैटरडे संडेज भी काम कभी कभी काम करना पड़ जाता है, डेडलाइंस
नहीं
होती है तो।
वह काम करना वह एक सर
हम्म।
एक अलग बात है, और यहाँ कुछ ना कुछ इशू आती है तो फिर वो जब तक इशू समाप्त नहीं होता तब तक करना तो।
नहीं, वीएपीटी में भी ऐसा होता है कि कभी कभी कोई डेटा ब्रीच है, जैसे आप बोलते हैं फटा कुछ,
हाँ,
तो उसमें हमको भी जाना पड़ता है, हमको भी देखना पड़ता है कि क्या फटा, कैसे फटा, वो चीज़ हमको ढूंढनी पड़ती है हमारे वे में, कैसे हुआ, फिर वो चीज़ हम लोग मिटिगेशन टीम को भेजते हैं। साइबर सिक्योरिटी में मतलब मोस्टली मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, साइबर सिक्योरिटी में एक डोमेन आता है डेटा सिक्योरिटी। उसके
अच्छा,
अलावा हाँ, उसके अलावा मतलब सबका वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस हिला हुआ ही है। तो मतलब सब में ज्यादा तो शौक वालों का हिला हुआ है, वीएपीटी में थोड़ा
हाँ
कम है।
शौक में सबसे ज्यादा ये तो।
हम्म। I guess. वीवी, व्हाट्स द अप्रोच टू स्टार्ट वेब असेसमेंट? तो यू गो थ्रू दी, सोनू, आपको अगर और कोई क्वेश्चन?
नो सर कोई मुझे।
ओके, थैंक यू। व्हाट इज योर, what are things to check? There are a lot of things you'll need to check, वीवी। There are a lot of things if you, आप खाली you search OWASP top 10, web top 10, ओके। uh, you will get headings like broken functionality, broken authentication, okay, uh, and injection attacks and everything. So in that as well, there are a lot of checks. There are lots and lots of checks which you will need to do. So try to search over the internet for a basic checklist. Okay, but that basic checklist will also, would be limited because technologies vary from environment to environment. Okay, technology is not the same. So try to solve the labs. As I said, so if you are solving the labs, it has already included the checks, right? If you are looking for an exercise or anything, okay, if you have input field, you will need to look for sanitization, validations. Like if there are headers, security headers, you will need to look for. Okay, if they are using any outdated components to build the websites, there are IDOR functionalities, there are CSRF injections, command injections, and everything. There are a lot of things. So we cannot sum it up in a basic checklist. As it depends on the technology you are testing. Even web applications are built on different platforms. They have different UIs. Okay, so if you will try to solve the labs and check the OWASP categories, they have mentioned the examples. So if you look for the examples in those frameworks mentioned, you will get a better idea. You can create your own checklist from it. Okay. And any more questions? I'll do this for you, Vivi. Just a second. I'm dropping something into the chat. There are few test cases which would be same across all the platforms. Okay. This mm, I don't have my checklist handy on it. What all I can remember now, I'll just drop it in the chat. Allow me a few minutes with this. Few more I have. Just a second. Mm, these are the these are the ones I can think of now because I'm using my personal laptop. I don't have my office laptop with me. So these are few test cases. Try to all of these would be applicable to whichever platform you are using. This might be applicable. Okay, these are the cases which would be applicable if there is a login functionality. Okay, so there is one more uh, concurrent session as well. Yeah, .htxs. Yeah, it is. It comes in directory enumeration only. if there's a tool called Durbuster or GoBuster which you can use, you will get all the files, and it has a pre-built checklist which will analyze the URL to see if there is a hidden endpoint available. Okay. WhatsApp group link, I'm not sure. Shahid, if you can share the WhatsApp group link in the chat, these guys can directly join. Okay, guys, any more questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, buff suit extension recommendations. There are a lot of extensions which are dedicated to different environment. Mm. But apart from using, mm, I'll have to check. I don't have my office laptop. I have a lot of extensions for specifically for CSRF and SSRF. There are extensions. I cannot name. I don't remember the name, but we actually in the starting phase we actually use extensions, but later on we actually try to uh, test it manually only. Yes, as I said, those who want to start into the VAPT, we just had an external PT session. You have the tools name, and but you should know how to use the tools as well. So other than the tools which I mentioned for dedicatedly for Kali Linux and for external PT, you should know Burp Suite. For testing the API, you should know Postman. You should know Nmap, or I'd rather say ZenMap, which has dedicated payloads to test the IP addresses. Learn Nikto, learn Metasploit. Okay. Okay. This one. This is okay. These are few tools recommendation which you know the vulnerabilities, but how will you find the vulnerabilities if you don't know the tools? They will ask you questions related to tools as well. There are few profiles which would require you to not to do VAPT but VA and VM, which is called vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management. There might not be dedicated courses for this, but for vulnerability management, you can uh, look for the YouTube videos of Qualys. The good vulnerability management tool. You can look for the YouTube videos to understand it better, or look for the documentation available on the Qualys website. All right. Yes. Any more questions?
Do you hold this session regularly or just randomly?
Uh, 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 Shahid would be a better person to answer this question. I believe Shahid schedules these questions once in schedules these sort of sessions, weekly, once in a week, I guess. No, but on different technologies and everything. Previously, I believe he has scheduled for uh, we did sessions for API testing as well, web application testing as well.
Yep. Okay.
So you can directly join the group if Shahid can drop the WhatsApp link. He shares the update related to sessions, whatever he is scheduling.
I think I'm in the group. Just 1 second. Is that the group one bug bounty hunter? Is that the one you're mentioning?
No, uh, it might be a CyberON has a specific group.
Yeah, it would be great if you can, because I got this link from that bug bounty hunter
Okay.
group.
He might have shared
Yeah.
links on multiple groups.
I see.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So could you please share that link if you have the group link, please?
Shahid, can you please share the WhatsApp group link? 2 or 3 people have asked to join the group. I believe he is not in the session, I guess. Allow me a minute. I'll have to
Thank
check
you.
if I have the link. Hmm. Okay, I'll share Shahid's phone number. You can directly reach out to him for the group link.
Okay.
He's the admin. I'm dropping his phone number. You can directly reach out to him. He will add you in the group.
Is that Shahid Hackers? Is that what his name is? Because that's someone called Shahid in that group.
No, his name is Shahid Afridi.
Yeah, okay. Because I see the name of the person who shared that link called Shahid
Yeah,
Hackers in the chat.
he would have shared. So
Oh
he's
yeah. That's the number. That's the number. Okay, I contact him directly. Yeah.
yes.
What's the name of the group again?
It's CyberON.
CyberON. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, all right, everyone. Any more questions? All right, I think we are good to wrap up the session. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, you can directly drop it into the group chat of CyberON. I'll try my best to answer it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.